Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Quant. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. And if you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now, let's jump straight into the charts. So I'm going to remove this Fibonacci retracement because that was set up for the weekly chart. We'll take a look at the weekly at the end of the video. And I want to set up a Fibonacci retracement on the daily chart with the daily candles. So we're going to be using the swing high that we printed in January 2023 and the swing low that we printed back in December 2022. Now, as you can see, we did have a bit of a fake out here below the swing low, but we ended up pumping, and right now the pump is approximately a 24-25% move to the upside, which is okay. This is nothing crucial because we're still running into this resistance level here that we created back in April. We also retested that level a few weeks before, and we also had a back test of support here in March. And yeah, so this is quite a significant level right now on the daily chart, and I do think we're going to be seeing a pullback because we are a bit overextended, and we should be retesting the 20 EMA within the next week or so. However, obviously, all the altcoins follow Bitcoin, whether with a bit of a delay or instantly, but they do follow Bitcoin generally speaking. Some altcoins just wait for a bit and they have their own pumps. Some altcoins have some specific news regarding their blockchain that pump the price, but generally speaking, every altcoin is going to be following Bitcoin. Now with Quant, like I said, a healthy retest would be a retest of the 20 EMA if you want to be looking at a continuation of this uptrend, because if you get so overextended and you have another 20 to 25% move to the upside and the EMAs are going to be sitting down here, well, the pullback is going to be even stronger, because the higher you go without any retracements, the faster you're going to drop down. So also keep that in mind. Now, if you are swing trading and you entered down here in this purple support block, which we had in the last video, I would probably be taking some profits if you're looking to swing trade, and potentially you can enter back at the 20 EMA or back at the swing low here, which would be approximately a 10% trade. But you can see that we were in this local downtrend. So a downtrend is basically when you're printing lower lows and lower highs constantly. So it seems like we're trying to break the trend, but we need to break above this resistance, at least above this resistance, to have a possibility for that break of the downtrend. Because if we don't do that, we run into this resistance and we start retracing, there's a very good chance that we're going to be coming back down to this May low once again. So if you missed out on buying Quant below $100, you still may have that opportunity. In fact, I do think we're going to be seeing another retracement, a pullback, a flash crash before the end of the year. So you're definitely going to have a good buying opportunity. We just don't know when. So that's why I would advise you guys, even though I'm not a financial advisor, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be having some cash on the sidelines in case I need to, in case a flash crash occurs and I need to be buying these cheap prices, because a flash crash could take Quant, let's say, 30% down. So we could be looking at the 1.618 here, sitting at $82.30. So that is going to be our technical target. This is going to be our technical target if we end up losing this December 2022 low, which technically speaking we already did, but this was a bit of a fake out. So what we want to do is we want to break below that and have a back test of resistance that will actually confirm that this level right now is a resistance from now on, and we're going to be moving to the downside. So that is something that you can expect. You can set up some buy limit orders in advance, but generally speaking, you're sitting at very, very cheap prices here, or you were sitting at very cheap prices. So I wouldn't be buying in for the long term right now. I would be waiting for a pullback, because after you have a move to the upside like this, typically you have a pullback. So just be patient, wait with some buy limit orders. I would target this purple support block, and this one is set up from $108 all the way down to $101. As you can see, based off of this low that we printed in November and based off of this local low that we printed in April 2023. So every single time you dropped into this purple block, except for this one, obviously, because you dropped below, you saw a move to the upside. So this happened back in November, back in actually a few times in November, in December, twice, in March, in April, in May. We dropped back down and we continued below, as you can see with this fake out. So generally speaking, this is where you want to be accumulating if you end up coming back down there one more time. And obviously, goes without saying, we want to be holding this low. So going below $45 would be very, very negative. So we want to stay above this high, above this low. As long as we do that, even if we come back down to $60, that is totally fine, as long as we stay above this low. You want to be above that for a continuation of the uptrend into the bull market, because if we end up dropping below, that's going to be very negative, because you're going to be continuing this long-term downtrend that we've had. As you can see with this low, we ended up going up, and we ended up breaking above the April 2022 high and above the August 2022 high. So this is a very bullish signal from Quant, and I don't think we're going to be dropping back down to $45 just because I think we're going to be, if we're going to be going there, that would be a flash crash. Something major has to happen for us to have that massive capitulation. So that is it for the daily chart. Now taking a look at the RSI. Now as you can see, we were targeting this symmetrical triangle, and look what ended up happening. We had a break to the upside because we were squeezed up in between the support and resistance. And look at what happened over here. So we retraced back. Let me actually get this on point. So we retraced back to the white trend line that we had here. We had this set up in the last video. Go back and check it out. And I told you guys this April low could be something that is worth looking at for a retest. So if you entered here, this was a bit of a fake out. As you can see, we dropped below the symmetrical triangle support, and then immediately we had a break to the upside. So what they try to do with these little fake outs is, a lot of people are going to have their stop losses over here below the support. So what they do is they drop the price below that just so we can liquidate everyone here, and then we go for the move to the upside. That's just what they do. They do this across the board on altcoins, on stocks. This is nothing new. Now, the daily RSI is very overextended. So what I would be looking for is a retracement at least to the upper yellow trend line right now. That would be the first entry that you could be looking at. But obviously, if you just want to wait a bit longer, you can wait for us to get down here into the oversold, which is below the index of 30 on this indicator. Now let's quickly switch over to the weekly chart. Switching over to the weekly chart, as you can see, we have a massive descending resistance trend line, and we're sort of breaking above it right now. But what I think is going to be happening is that we're going to have a similar wick to the one that we had back in October last year and to the one that we had in January, where we simply have a wick to the upside and then we come back down and we close the candle below the actual resistance. So I think this is what is going to be playing out here. We are maybe possibly going to retest the 55 EMA one more time. Other than that, I'm expecting for us to come back down below the green support block eventually, because we're getting squeezed up between the resistance and the support. There is nothing in the markets, going on in the markets right now, that would make me believe that we're going to be breaking above this. Obviously, anything can happen. If we end up breaking for whatever reason to the upside, there is also a resistance block that you can be targeting here. There we go. So this resistance block is a good area for us to look at for swing trading. So if you want to be swing trading and you quickly want to sell and potentially buy back at this support, at the green support block, that could be a 20% discount for you. You can do that if you are, if your risk tolerance allows that. For me right now, I try to avoid swing trading. Now, once we get to August/September, because that's the time when I'm expecting to see another bull trap. Now, once we get to that time frame, I'm going to be swing trading, because every August/September throughout the past 5 years, we've seen massive moves to the upside. For example, September 2021, we printed this local high. And this goes for Bitcoin. This goes literally for all of the altcoins. August 2022, we had this move to the upside over here. Now we go back to November. Where's August 2022? As you can see, this recovery from March into August, a 7x. We go back to July. Well, this was July, but roughly in the same time frame from May into July, 7x. So every single year, altcoins have this rally from June/May into August, September. So August, September is when we expect the local peak. After that, we're going to be seeing a pullback, just like we did over here, into September, October, November. From there, we have the next move to the upside. We enter 2024, we get to the halving, and I think that's when the first phase of the bull market, so to speak, is going to be kicking off. So this is what's happening with Quant. I'm pretty certain that we're going to be dropping below this green support block. So be careful with your buy-ins. Potentially wait for this support level to be retested if you want to put a large amount in. That's $93. Now this support has held us back in January last year. In February, we retested it in August last year. We had another wick down there in November last year. So just keep this area in mind in case we lose the green support block. This would be a massive level for us to hold. Now the stochastic has started retracing to the upside from this low, from the oversold. So you still have time to average in if you want to be doing that right now. But like I said, for me, this is a bit too expensive right now. I just want to average into some other altcoins because from this June low, we're sitting at almost a 3x. So that's a bit too expensive for my taste. And the weekly RSI, as you can see, is also having a bit of a move to the upside. And as you can see, every time we have these impulsive moves to the upside, we have retracement. So we're definitely going to have a retracement here, guys, just like we had here, just like the one that happened over here. So just be patient for those retracements. Have your funds ready and set to go for the buy limit orders. And if you have any questions regarding the video or you have any questions in general, feel free to reach out, feel free to leave a comment. And also, guys, make sure to check out the links down below in the description to the Patreon, to our open Telegram chat where you can get news dropped in on a regular basis if you want to stay up to date with everything. And I do want to thank you all for watching this video. Stay safe and take care.